Oh, alright, we'll see if this works. The mic anyway. Hopefully it does. Been a while since I made a video. Last video I did was on rail transport and their CDL program, but figured I'd make a little update video. I am no longer with rail. I went to Hirschbach or Hirschbach, however I don't know, people pronounce it all kind of different ways. But yeah, I came over here as a independent contractor or lease op, however you want to call it. And so far, been a lot nicer. Of course, every company is going to have its flaws, but and on a general, it's been a huge improvement for me, at least compared to rail. Take it with a grain of salt. Everybody's going to have their own experiences, and this is only my second week with the company. But my experience so far, it's a lot better. With rail, there were times where I'd be sitting for a long period of time. Um, you know, Coming off a home time, waiting on loads, and it was just not the right fit for me. I don't really want to talk bad on them because that's not who I am. I don't really want to talk bad about anybody, even companies, but yeah, it's definitely been an improvement. I got a newer truck than what I had there. Not much newer. I had a 23 when I was with rail, and now I got a 24. And yeah, just all in all, it's been. And then, of course, being lease op, the pay's nicer. I'm on a dedicated run, so I get a guaranteed pay every week of $13.50, and I don't know as of yet. As of right now, my pay stub or settlement, however you want to call it, hasn't shown up yet. So I can't confirm if that's before or after expenses, but from what I've been told, that's $13.50 into my pocket after expenses. Be kind of nice. But yeah, I just wanted to make this kind of go over, the orientation process that I went through with Hirschbach and the process of getting my truck and things like that. I'm kind of got the rest of the day to do whatever because I'm like 20 minutes away from my next pickup, and it's not scheduled to pick up till tomorrow at half hour afternoon or 12:30. So I had nothing else to do, but yeah, orientation was pretty good. I went there. Orientation for me started Wednesday, ended Friday. So I got out there to the hotel Tuesday evening. The company paid for a rent-a-car for me. Of course, they pay for the hotel while you're there, and they will get you to and from orientation while you're there. While you're in orientation, they take care of all your meals. Of course, you got breakfast at the hotel. They provide lunch, and then they give you a little voucher thing that's like $15. I think it's good for $15 if I remember correctly. That you could take to the Hy-Vee just down the road, and they've got different food places inside. They've got like a Chinese place, a pizza place, a few other different things, or you could just buy groceries with it and cook yourself. The only thing, obviously, when you first get, like I got there a day before orientation started, so that night it was on me. They don't cover that. Day one orientation is a mix of actually doing stuff and boring paperwork day. So right off the bat, first day I went out, did a pre-trip walk around, kind of. It's not really like a test. They're just making sure that you know what you're looking at and what to check for to make sure nothing's broken or anything like that. And then you do your drive test. It wasn't bad. It was pretty simple. You go out, you make a few turns. You'll switch because there'll be someone in the back seat, so you'll switch with them. They drive you back. That's it. And then you go do boring paperwork for the rest of the day. And then by the end of the day, it'll be starting of like the safety videos and all that fun stuff that you always get to watch whenever you switch jobs. A lot of the stuff they had was like I was able to get it done before I went there, because it was all like they'll send you a link for a login for a website for all the little e-learning things that they have, and I was able to get almost all of those done before I went to orientation. So it was really boring for me, because I had nothing to do outside of watching the training videos and safety videos and those things. Day 2, it's more safety videos. For anybody coming in as independent contractor or lease op, there's a few specific things that we had to watch that the company drivers were basically told to disappear for. They got a couple hours to just go hang out while we did that. And then you'll get tablet training day 2. They show you how to work the app and whatever, which is it's nice. It literally tells you step by step what to do for where you're at. So like you go to the shipper, it's arrive shipper, okay, take a picture of this, take a picture of this, send this in. It step by step walks you through everything, and it's so nice and so simple. Oh, excuse me, sorry about that. But yeah, for us it was a little bit different. The final part of that we weren't able to do on day 2 because the internet went down, so we had to come in Friday morning and get that knocked out. Typically, from what I was told, Friday morning you'll just chill out at the hotel, and then my bad, backtrack to day 1. You'll also do a drug test. You do the urinalysis test and a hair follicle test, and then typically on your 3rd day, which for me was Friday, you would stay at the hotel, and then once the results from that came back, as long as they were negative, they would call you, and you would get your stuff packed up. You would go to the terminal. They give you a little goodie bag that's got a couple things: a shirt, a hat, this orange folder with a whole bunch of useful information in it and on it, including stuff like the tablet login, things like that. And you just get a couple, nice little things. And then either you'll get your truck where you're at, or in my case, I got my rental car back because I had to drive to a different terminal to get my truck, which wasn't bad. It was only about a 2-hour drive to get there. I went to Dubuque, Iowa for orientation. Wasn't too bad. And that was pretty much it. I got my stuff. Again, minor differences between lease and company. If you're going lease, you have to sign your lease agreement before you go get your truck. And that's pretty much it. I got there, filled out my paperwork, signed my lease, and then I drove to Joliet. Got there, and they'll give you, paperwork that has your truck number. If you're lease, you'll get to see like what brand, year, make, whatever. You'll get to see what the truck is. In my case, it said clearly on my lease agreement I was going to get a 2024 Freightliner Cascadia. It had the VIN number, it had the mileage on it, everything you would expect from a lease agreement. I don't know if that's the same for company. I do know that the company tries to get you into your preferred truck. So if you're a person who prefers like Freightliner over International, they're going to try to get you in a Freightliner unless they don't have any available. Then they might put you in an International until a Freightliner becomes available, or if you get put into an International and you're like, hey, this maybe ain't that bad, I'll stick it out, then you'll just stay in that truck and go. But that's pretty much it. I got my truck, and then I went home for the weekend just so I could get all my stuff put in it. And then last Monday was my first week out, and the only downside, so for me to get my guaranteed pay of $13.50, I have to meet certain criteria. For the account that I'm on, that includes I have to be available for work 6 days out of the week. Obviously, me going home for the weekend didn't happen. So this week when I get paid, it'll be for last week, but it'll all just be mileage pay. So I won't get the guaranteed pay for last week, but I will this week. So next week's paycheck will have the guaranteed pay, and when I get that, I can make another video to go, break that down or whatever, and at least verify if it's $13.50 before or after expenses. I've been told it's after expenses. It's $13.50 going to my pocket so long as I meet the criteria. But I guess we'll find out next week. Yeah, that's kind of it. Overall, it's just been a massive improvement. They do still have the Lytics drive cams that they only, the event recorders as they call them. I don't mind. Like, as soon as you pull the parking brake on the truck, it shuts the interior facing camera off. So it's not that big a deal. Plus, I always close these and it blocks the camera anyway. And I look at it this way: when I'm driving down the road, if that camera goes off, all it's going to see is me doing my job. So I don't really care about that too much. The trucks are decently optioned out. I'll say they're not like fully loaded, but they do have some nice features. Hirschbach includes a fridge and a little 24-inch TV with the truck. They got satellite radio, which mine I have to call and get reactivated. It was there when I got this truck, but I think what happened is it was still activated under the previous driver. And that's another thing. You're probably not going to get like a brand new truck first starting out on the lease. Because what this company has is they got this, it's called the Trick My Truck program, where after a year being lease, you can go in, you can put down a down payment, and you can order, or the company will order a brand new truck for you that you can pick and choose some options for. And I think what they do, and take this with a grain of salt, I don't know if this is 100% or not. I think what they do is the lease trucks that people have before they do Trick My Truck, when they do that and they get their new truck, the trucks they had just go back into the lease program. I think, because when I got this truck, you could see the outline of another person's LLC stickers on the doors that I had to clean off. It's whatever. It's a 24, it's got like 200,000 miles on it. I'm only going to have it a year because I plan on doing the same thing. Not a big deal. Plus, the company takes care of all the maintenance anyway. I pay 10 cents per mile for a maintenance plan that covers this truck bumper to bumper. So, it doesn't really bother me. But, one thing that is kind of nice and kind of blew my mind a little bit: heated and cooled seats for both driver and passenger in a freaking semi. I don't even have that shit, pardon my language, I don't even have that in my car. That's cool. And it works amazingly. But you got that, you got the satellite radio, of course. I think it's standard in the Freightliners now. It's got the Bluetooth, the USB, all that fun stuff. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't really think there is. There is one thing that I'm not really a huge fan of. So when I was with Rail, I also had a Freightliner Cascadia. It had the little side boxes on both sides to get under the bunk. These trucks only have one on the driver's side, and then from pretty much straight behind the driver's seat over to the passenger side is just all open under the bunk, but there's no way to access that from outside the truck. Again, not really a huge deal breaker. I just prefer to have the side boxes on both sides. But it is what it is. I'll hop in back real quick. Just turn my opti-idle on. Which I guess, I mean, if you don't know how to turn opti-idle on a Freightliner, I can check it. So, truck's off, key on, wait for it to boot up. You're going to want to hit this button to close that out, and then this page button. You go through it until you see opti-idle. Hit OK. It may or may not ask you about this. A buddy of mine is also leased up with this company. His truck does not have this option. Mine does, and my bunk AC is a little bit lackluster at the moment until it gets into the shop to get fixed. So I'm going to turn that on, and I understand it. What that'll do is it'll just idle the truck to run either the air or the heat until it reaches a certain temperature that you have it set to in here. Like, it just fired up to do exactly that because it's freaking hot in here. But my truck's a little bit messy right now because hit a very bumpy road and stuff kind of went flying. One real thing, like, nice thing I do like, so the last truck I had with the previous company had those little vent windows up top. This doesn't have those, but it does have full-size window. Well, not full-size for a truck. Down here, that open and close, which is very nice to get airflow in and out of the truck. I took the little TV that they give you off, and I'm using that TV mount because I have my own, and the mount that is up here. These two bolts, I just took them out, put my mounting plate up there, put them back in, and then hung the TV up, and it's been holding just fine ever since. I haven't had a problem with it. It's a 32-inch LG TV, or smart TV, and the nice part about it is I still have access to that side window, so I can pull that cover off and have both windows open and airflow in here without completely blocking. You know, I can be chilling here in the bunk watching TV while still having both windows open if I want to get a nice breeze or just airflow or whatever in here. Of course, for the most part, it's just, you know, typical Cascadia. So you've got storage up above the driver and passenger, more storage here, more storage here. This one I've actually got nothing in right now. I keep my personal care products like soap for, you know, body wash, stuff like that in here. I use this for dry food storage, and I got cups, plates, bowls. You get your microwave mount. Of course, your fridge. I just got my internet box velcroed to the top of it. Closet space in here. Of course, you got your pull-out table, which mine needs cleaned off. More storage down there. I just use that as kind of like a junk drawer at home. And then you got storage up here, which I keep all my cleaning supplies and whatnot in. It's a double bunk. Mine, I don't have a mattress up there. My truck didn't, and I really don't need one up there anyway, so it doesn't bother me. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it, in all honesty. If anybody actually watches this, which I doubt many people will, because I don't really have too many followers on YouTube, but if anybody does watch this, and sorry about that, I forgot to shut the CB off. But if anybody watches this and you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to reach out. You know, leave a comment down below. I'll reply to it as best I can, or, you know, if anything, I'll try to answer it in a different video. But that's pretty much all I got. Can't really think of anything else to say anymore, so later.